In a moment that shocked WNBA fans and pundits alike, Caitlin Clark took the spotlight, not with crossover or three-pointer, but with a demand that rattled the league's hierarchy. If I could trade someone, it wouldn't be a player. It'd be Coach Reeve. That bold declaration sent an unmistakable message. The player-coach balance has shifted. This isn't the subtle tiptoe of empowerment we've seen before. If you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe. It's the full-throttle takeover. Caitlin wasn't coy. She was conversational and confident. The old-style deference of coaches, those iron-fisted figures immune to player feedback, suddenly felt outdated. Clark's shot wasn't at Cheryl Reeve alone. It was at the status quo that has defined decision-making for decades. A new era of athlete agency. Across sports, superstar athletes have begun to wrest control from traditional power structures. Naomi Osaka withdrew from tournaments to spark dialogue on mental health. Megan Rapinoe has reshaped discussions about equal pay and political expression. Caitlin Clark's gesture slots neatly into this wave, asserting that locker room harmony and team chemistry deserve more weight than any coaching pedigree. It's not a rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It's a spotlight on accountability. Clark's comment implied that coaches, no matter their resume, should earn the respect and cohesion that players depend on, in public, on national television. Building a dream team by intuition, beyond the mic drop moment, Clark's draft approach gave fans a glimpse into a fresh leadership philosophy. Intuition over metrics. She didn't just point to stats. She cited vibes. I just felt good energy from these players. That's unconventional, possibly controversial, but undeniably human. It shows that elite talent isn't just about efficiency ratings. It's about trust, collaboration, and mental alignment. The fact that Sonia Citron and a rookie nicknamed Kiki Area Fan made the cut reflects that Clark values disruptive, unpolished potential. She's not seeking established brands. She's investing in chemistry, resilience, and a kind of grit that thrives under pressure, making room for new voices on and off the court. The WNBA has long celebrated team names and coaching legacies, but Clark's boldness signals a change. Team culture is now created in real time, by the players under pressure, not just by veteran strategists. The channeling of rookie voices on all-star rosters isn't just a fun postseason moment. It's the start of a structural shift. When rookies are drafted high by peer-selected players, their presence becomes validation. Suddenly, those voices demand more airtime, influence, and respect. A clash of leadership styles. Cheryl Reeve, on the other hand, represents a more traditional roadmap. Structured, disciplined, decorated. She's known for strategic brilliance, but rarely called out. That's what made Clark's comments so revolutionary. It wasn't just personal, it was principled. It asked, should legacy override adaptability? Should decision-making remain top-down? Or should it reflect a modern athlete's mindset? It's not an indictment of Reeve. She might even see this as an invitation to evolve, an opportunity to incorporate contemporary player needs into coaching strategies. But it is a wake-up call. The playbook might need revising. Viewer reaction, viral or vapid. The internet exploded. Clips of Clark's aside went viral within minutes. Some praised the moment as empowering. Finally, real player input. Others dismissed it as attention-seeking. Let the coaches coach. What's undeniable is that Clark's comment catapulted the WNBA into mainstream conversation, like a buzzer beater that changes the game's trajectory. Critics asked, is this substance or showmanship? Was this a calculated moment or a genuine feeling? Yet even the debate is revealing. Fans aren't asking, is Clark talented? Anymore. They're asking, is she a leader? That's a major cultural shift. Media reverberates. Coverage and contradiction. Unlike some previous player flare UPS that faded quickly, this moment stuck. Major outlets quickly pivoted to unpack what Clark said and what it means. Compare this to past coach critiques from lesser-known players that went unheard. The WNBA's national network aired multiple panel debates, dissecting whether or not a player has a right to publicly question coaching staff. This isn't just clickbait. It's part of a broader conversation about athlete representation. The media spotlight is finally including player-driven narratives, suggesting the league is maturing, but still finding its footing in balancing entertainment with governance. What challenger coaches and GMs are watching? Executives and coaching staffs across the league took note. Clark's moment isn't happening in isolation. It's a signal. Instantly, office staff are revisiting their communication strategies. They're asking questions like, how do we ensure player voice while maintaining authority? Are our coaches trained to evolve with modern expectations? This ripple effect could lead to everything from transparent evaluations to revamped leadership training. Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner, commented shortly after. She praised respectful discourse, but also defended the value coaches bring. It wasn't a reprimand, but it wasn't an endorsement either. For all its worth, her tone recognized that the league's power balance is shifting, but reinforced that change shouldn't undo both discipline and progress. Young players seeing pathways to leadership. Recent WNBA drafts have been dominated by intellectual playmakers. Debbie Myers-Martin-Hayes, savvy performers, communicators. Clark's moment sends a cultural signal. Skill is still essential, but leadership matters. Values matter. So do voices. If rookies see that they can opt into all-star rosters, make key picks, and even speak up about coaches, they'll step in earlier, contribute more, and shape team identity from day one. The pool of future leaders isn't just growing, it's growing more assertive. Where this all-star game could go next. So now the question becomes, how will these team dynamics play out on All-Star Night? Will Clark's squad take a harder edge? Will team chemistry really show us cohesion? Or will it fall flat? Just another celebrity drafting system? Given how easily locker rooms polarize and competitive sparks flare, either direction is possible. But if player empowerment becomes performance empowerment, this game could redefine how every all-star roster is selected and presented. Impact beyond the hardwood. Cultural exports matter. Image matters. Clark's move aligns with a global trend that transcends hoops. Stars now use platforms to reshape culture and demand accountability in coaching, funding, marketing, and community outreach. When she advocates for change, offers guidance on roster behavior, and criticizes coaching structures, that echoes outside basketball. It influences civic leadership, corporate team building, and youth sports philosophy. This moment isn't just about trades. It's about values shifting in real time and in prime time. Potential pitfalls ahead, but revolutionary moments carry risks. What if every all-star draft becomes a calling-out battle? What if future players only pick based on friendship-style vibes and public drama? The pendulum swings both ways. If unchecked, this moment could morph from individual expression into organizational chaos, embracing player voice while maintaining performance standards. Players will want respect, but fans will still want quality basketball. The league must balance both. Looking beyond two figures. The subtext here involves more than Clark and Reeve. It brings broader questions. How do we value coach experience versus player experience? How do we quantify chemistry? And can organizational culture shift from coach-centric to team-centric without losing structure? For young coaches, this is a turning moment. For agents and executives, it's new leverage. Skills evaluations could expand to emotional intelligence, psychological safety, and compatibility. Moves aren't only salary-based, they're culture-based. What the league can do to capitalize. Intentional shift needs intentional guidelines. The WNBA can formalize player-coach feedback protocols. It can create forums for mid-season reviews. Roster culture could become part of evaluation for all-star captains. We've already seen league voting changes. Next to be organizational changes. Translation? This isn't a passing narrative. It's a chance to rewrite structural DNA. Caitlin's legacy, a leadership model for all stars. With a few words, Caitlin Clark defined her leadership style. She's not passive. She's direct. She prioritizes culture. She selects teammates based on trust, not just talent. Winning basketball without mental cohesion is rare. If Clark can pilot her teams to victory based on both skill and synergy, she's going to influence recruitment, training, and everything in between. Cheryl Reeve's response matters most. Reeve has a decision: respond or ignore, adapt her systems or stand firm. A verbal reflection on combined player-coach feedback could be the soft pivot needed, or a defensive posture might deepen divides. Her reaction will define the next chapter. Reeve is iconic, but moments like these demand evolution, not entitlement. The expanding conversation. We're living through a pivotal season, and Clark's comment may be remembered as a turning point. Athlete influence, coaching responses, organizational ecosystems. The ripple effect is just beginning. We'll watch as social feeds hum with analysis. Recruiting boards shift KPIs. All-star rosters evolve. And yes, championships feel different when teams are assembled by both mind and vibe. All-Star TV was never intended to be a political platform. Yet when Caitlin Clark declared she'd trade coaches, not players, for league-wide reasons, it changed the broadcast moment forever. It asked, whose voice really matters? That question is now on the table in locker rooms, front offices, living rooms, and even corporate boardrooms. Caitlin's moment invites us all to rethink what leadership means in sports today. Players are stepping up to lead, not just play. And that shift, it matters more than any scoreboard, stat line, or ticket sale. You know how all-star weekends are supposed to be fun? A little trash talk, a lot of threes, maybe a flashy dunk if someone's feeling bold? Yeah, Caitlin Clark decided she was going to turn the WNBA All-Star Game into personal rebranding season. And Cheryl Reeve? She became the sacrificial lamb on national TV. If you blinked, you might have missed it. But for those of us glued to that draft broadcast, it was unmistakable. Caitlin Clark literally traded out the coach instead of her teammates. Who needs a roster shakeup when you can bench the person calling the plays? And the best part? She said it with a smile. Let's break it down, because this wasn't just about who's coaching an exhibition game. This was a full-blown statement, a mic drop moment that told the entire WNBA. There's a new sheriff in town, and she's not taking orders from the old guard anymore. Caitlin Clark didn't just draft a team, she drafted a vibe. Let's be real. Everyone watching that all-star draft expected the usual. Pick the stars, crack some jokes, maybe throw a little shade. But Clark came into that room with a mission. She wasn't just stacking talent. She was curating energy. Every pick was deliberate. Every player she chose had chemistry, humor, warmth. Or at the very least, hadn't tried to clothesline her during the regular season. It was like watching someone pick their squad for a heist movie. If you weren't trustworthy, you were out. If you were Angel Reese, Eriko Gunbowl, or one of the mean girl suspects, yeah, your phone did not ring. But Cheryl Reeve? Oh, Cheryl got a whole different level of smoke. Because Clark didn't just leave her off the lineup. She basically said, thanks, but no thanks. We're running this differently now. Trading the coach? That's icon behavior. You could practically hear producers gasp when Caitlin dropped the quote. I like my team. I don't want to trade any of the players, but maybe I'd trade the coach. That's not passive aggression. That's active precision warfare. And it wasn't subtle. Everyone knew what she was doing. Cheryl Reeve has been the face of traditional WNBA coaching for years. Tight rotations, rigid systems, and a reputation for not exactly rolling out the red carpet for incoming rookies. Clark? She's not here for that. She's bringing a college-style swagger, fast tempo, no huddle offense energy. She wants vibes, freedom, fun, and Reeve's style is none of that. So what happens when the most marketable player in the league puts you on public blast? With a smile during an all-star draft? You get humbled in real time. That's what. Reeve's silence was louder than words. You want to know how deep the dagger went? Cheryl Reeve didn't say a word back. Nothing. Not even a PR-friendly, haha, love Caitlin's competitive spirit. Not a tweet. Not a side-eye meme. Just silence. That's when you know someone got shook. Because if this had been lighthearted, Reeve would have leaned in. She would have cracked a joke or brushed it off. But instead, she went radio silent while the rest of the internet did a double take and hit rewind. Was this petty? Sure. But was it necessary? Also yes. Clark is setting the tone for a new WNBA era. Let's not pretend this happened in a vacuum. Caitlin Clark isn't just some rookie with a hot hand. She's the reason the league's seeing sellouts, surging ratings and national headlines on a weekly basis. She's the engine of the WNBA right now, and she's been catching elbows, dirty screens, and cheap shots for months, all while getting side-eyed by veteran players and occasionally brushed off by coaches like Reeve. This All-Star draft was her first chance to say, "I see it all, and I'm done playing nice." She could have picked the safe route, could have smiled, avoided controversy, and let the producers keep everything squeaky clean. But she didn't. She let her choices and her one-line jab do the talking. This wasn't a feud. This was a power shift. Let's talk about the pettiest power move of the night. You know what really sealed the deal? When Clark picked rookies, literal fresh-from college rookies, for her all-star team over some of the league's most established names. Sonia Citron and Kiki Ariafan are great players. Don't get me wrong, but in most years, no rookie not named Caitlin Clark is cracking that lineup. But Clark didn't care. She picked players who got it, who weren't going to play politics or throw shade, who actually wanted to be on the same team, not just in the same photo op. It was a loyalty draft, a subtle clapback at the people who spent the last 3 months treating her like a tourist in their league. And the message was loud and clear. You don't rock with me? Cool. You're not coming to the party. To understand the full weight of what happened, you have to understand who Cheryl Reeve is. She's a legend, yes, multiple titles, Team USA coach, commanding presence, but she's also old school. She's part of a coaching class that doesn't exactly roll out the red carpet for flashy newcomers. She values grit, discipline, and hierarchy, which makes sense until a player comes along that blows all the rules up. Clark isn't just challenging the playbook. She's challenging the entire power structure. She's saying, I'm not waiting for your approval. I'm making the approval, and I'm doing it live with 2 million people watching. Reeve getting dropped mid-draft wasn't about one game. It was about a changing of the guard. On camera, in real time, the fans ate it up, and the league took notes. Social media exploded. Clips of Clark's comment were trending before the draft even finished. Memes flooded in. Fan edits. Think pieces. And yes, even sports talk hosts with old takes exposed receipts. Some called it unprofessional. Others called it genius. But one thing was certain. Everyone was talking about it. And you can bet league execs were watching. Because in a league fighting for attention, nothing hits like an unscripted, viral power play from its biggest star. This is the kind of drama that sells. And it also forces conversations the league has been dodging for years. Who's actually running the show now? The coaches? The front offices? Or the stars driving the revenue? Will there be fallout? Absolutely. And Clark doesn't care. There's no way this goes unpunished in the locker room politics sense. You think Reeve's just going to forget that moment? You think other coaches aren't quietly taking notes, wondering if they'll be next? Oh, it's personal now. But Clark's not backing down. She's made it clear. If you're not with her, you're in the way. And here's the twist. She doesn't need to be liked. She just needs to be respected. That's the difference between a rising star and a true leader. Clark's not here to smooth things over. She's here to win, reshape culture, and torch whatever bridges get in the way. So was Clark's call-out savage? Yes. Petty? Definitely. Unnecessary? Depends on how much you value honesty. But one thing's for sure, it was historic. This wasn't just a jab at a coach. It was a defining moment for a league in flux. The WNBA is no longer just about the game. It's about who's shaping the future. And Caitlin Clark? She just proved she's not waiting her turn. She's taken the mic, the spotlight, and, if need be, the whistle from any coach who doesn't get the assignment. Welcome to the Clark era.